Collaboration is one of the touchstones of the 5G era, and I'm talking today with Mark Longwell, Director of Alliances, Hybrid Platforms Business Unit at Red Hat, and Rick Fulwiler, Chief Solutions Architect at the CTO Office of Netscout, about how they're working together to address the 5G and cloud-native edge needs of network operators. So, gentlemen, can you tell us why have Red Hat and Netscout joined forces? Mark, let's come to you first.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Well, Netscout and Red Hat have been partners for 5+ years, but with everything going on with 5G becoming more prevalent, we are leaders in our respective industries. So it just made sense for us to have a tighter alignment. So we're working on more certifications. We're working on joint solutions to bring to market. We're working on messaging that makes sense for our joint customers to hear from both Netscout and Red Hat as leaders in our respective industries.
Okay, thanks, Mark. And Rick, what's your perspective on this collaboration?
Well, obviously, I completely agree with what Mark was saying. Netscout and Red Hat have mobile joint telecom customers, and it makes perfect sense that working together, Netscout can provide a pre-certified version of our applications and our virtual packet acquisition engine within a Red Hat OpenShift environment. And really, I think what this does is this provides a level of confidence to our joint customer base that there's less headaches in the world. As we move to a more complex containers and microservices environment, they can get something that just kind of works off the shelf.
And so what exactly are you offering to telecom operators? Rick?
So if you look at what Netscout does, Netscout provides seamless visibility into the performance, availability, and security risk across any network, any data center, any cloud, whether it's like 5G virtual functions, and so on. And really what our joint offering provides is really a pre-certified solution that kind of dissolves the border of visibility into a Red Hat OpenShift environment. And this allows us to expose the packet level data, say within inside of a pod, to be processed at the source very smartly for use for our service assurance applications and feeding other northbound applications.
So what made you decide to bring all of this together? What are the industry trends and market drivers here for your collaboration? Rick, let's start with you.
Well, as you think about 5G starts to migrate to a 5G standalone environment, and it really drives more of a cloud-native architecture with its virtual functions and containers, along with looking at the virtualization of multi-access edge computing. Now together, Netscout and Red Hat can provide a platform within this virtual environment, along with the visibility into this virtualized platform at the true packet level. And the packet level is really the lifeblood that drives the upper level service applications, whether it's service assurance or threat detection. And that's really the key behind this partnership.
Okay. And Mark, what do you see as the key trends and drivers behind this?
Well, I think Netscout's website sums it up great. They say the complexity of our connected world is soaring at rates never seen before. And Rick mentioned this, it's becoming more complex. We are trying to provide a level of confidence to our joint customers of these pre-integrated solutions. And more of the service providers are moving to microservices and deploying their infrastructure on OpenShift, our Kubernetes container platform. So once again, to go back to our initial intro, this is the reason why Netscout and Red Hat are looking to partner more strategically going forward.
Okay, great. And to what extent has 5G been a catalyst for your joint developments? Mark, let's come to you on this.
It's driving everything, right? I mean, Rick said it, there's complexity across all industries, not just telco, right? We're seeing it in manufacturing, we're seeing it in financial services, we're seeing it in private 5G. It's limitless basically of where we can go between Netscout and Red Hat with our joint offerings. It is telco to focus, Ron, right? But certainly we're seeing it in the industrial manufacturing area. It's a game changer for enterprises who require 5G capabilities internally. 5G has really been driving everything, in our telco space that we're working with Netscout on.
Okay, excellent. Now, what is the plan for how you'll be taking this to market? Mark, let's start with you.
Yeah, good question, Ray. I think look at it from two different perspectives. One is we're going to look to have a marketing team put together, or we have marketing teams put together to focus on bringing the joint solutions to market through webinars, PR, blogs, etc. Trade shows, the usual, I would say. But where we're really going to focus, I believe, is in account mapping at the geographic level, right? Have our sales teams with the Netscout sales teams look to talk about where are the joint customers we can just showcase our joint solutions to. Where can we enhance each other's value in that space, right? It could be a greenfield opportunity. It could be an opportunity where Red Hat is and Netscout is, or vice versa. So we're going to look at it from two angles, right? On the ground level, right, with the sales teams and the solution architects, and also from the professional marketing teams that we have assembled that are dedicated to the partnership to bring awareness to the more strategic nature of our partnership going forward.
Okay. And Rick, how do you see this coming out into the telecom sector?
Right. I think it's very similar to what Mark had articulated. I mean, right now today, we're starting to educate our sales force that you can now walk into an account and say that we are now pre-certified to work in a Red Hat OpenShift environment. I think that's a very powerful message, especially today with a lot of moving parts, especially if you look at Kubernetes and microservices. It's a huge challenge. And not only just for our telecom customers, but also some of the NEM partners we're working with too. I mean, they also have to make some very important decisions. Where do they migrate to? Do they use kind of open source? Do they start working with a pre-certified solution? How do they see the visibility? So that's a messaging that we're bringing together, that now this all works together. You don't have to worry about trying to make it work. It's all pre-certified.
Now, Netscout's pitch to the market is that it can offer visibility without borders and end-through-end solutions. How can Red Hat support these propositions? Mark?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think our messages are very in sync. So we talk about write once, deploy anywhere, right? So with the pervasiveness of OpenShift, what we're trying to make sure is that if you write code to OpenShift and want to deploy your containers, whether it's on-prem, whether it's at a hyperscaler, whether it's private 5G, whether it's on a single node cluster out at the edge, we want partners, or we want customers to be able to use OpenShift and have that same experience no matter where they deploy. So write once, deploy anywhere is really in sync with visibility without borders. We're not trying to put any limits on where a customer can leverage OpenShift and Netscout applications. So visibility without borders parallels, write once, deploy anywhere messaging from Red Hat, and is fully supportive.
Okay, excellent. So what's next for this partnership? What else do you have planned? Rick, let's start with you.
Well, I think we're really, just to be honest, we're really just probably starting to scratch the surface of where we can go. And especially as we're starting to see the migration of 5G standalone. I mean, this is a huge area, not only just in the fact that we're going to be seeing NEMs and carriers starting to leverage Red Hat OpenShift as they start migrating the virtual functions into that environment, but especially on the MEC. And the MEC is a very exciting area right now. And I think this is really going to be kind of the new frontier that carriers are going to start to leverage. And they have to make some important decisions of how they start offering this. And I think, which public cloud providers they're going to be picking, what environments. And as they start working with enterprises, they also have to say, well, now I have an environment that's been pre-certified. I have visibility. You can run your containers in this environment, and we can provide visibility and metrics back to you of how well your applications are working. I think that's one particular area. Another area that we see that's very exciting is orchestration. Obviously there has to be a higher level orchestration system that kind of starts bolting all this together and making all the microservices and virtual functions work. And I think working together with Red Hat, that's another interesting area we're going to start exploring.
Yeah, those are very important areas. And Mark, how do you see this collaboration evolving?
Yeah, I mean, Rick has laid out a few ideas, and what we're working on over the next 30 days, I say would be a roadmap of what solutions or what joint solutions that Netscout and Red Hat want to focus on and to message out to the market together. Whether it's telco, whether it's the service providers doing private 5G offerings into the manufacturing space, whatever the case might be. Now, as Rick said, we just scratched the surface, and we've been, I would say, tactical partners for the last 5+ years, but over the last 3, 4, 5 months, between the management teams and our proximity. We are in the same office park in Westford, Massachusetts, for the most part. It makes sense, right? And as I said at the beginning of the discussion, we're market leaders, right? So we need to really be more strategic and not just tactical, like we have been for the last few years. But we see the importance of two market leaders coming together, and we hope to expand on that over the next 3 to 4 months with these joint offerings coming to market.
Okay, so excellent developments there for the telecom industry. Thank you to Mark and Rick for talking us through your collaboration today. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Ray. Much appreciated.
Thanks again, Ray. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.